Alright, got another giant box on the desk here. So another portable power station here from a company called LiPOWER. The Mars-1000 Pro, 1120 watt hours, and has a 1200 watt inverter. And there's a little photo of what it looks like. Yeah, 24-month warranty on this one, so a little bit bigger than, a little bit more than some of the others. And just look at the side of the box here. Lithium iron phosphate chemistry, or LFP is another way of looking at it. They're using the same sort of, I guess they're calling them EV quality cells that are, I think Tesla's using them quite a bit now on their latest models, and they do have better qualities in terms of longevity, but there's also some drawbacks, like you can't charge them when the temperature is below freezing, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If you do that, it will kill the battery, but I think the BMS on this one will prevent that from happening, which is what's showing right here. It's got a BMS system, pure sine wave inverter, of course, 1200 watts to 2000 surge, 1120 watt hours, 350,000 milliamp hours, and it's got an MPPT solar charge controller built in. They did send me 2 solar panels. I'll talk about that later. And here's a look at the back. Obviously it shows you what we got here in terms of the different outputs, and of course we'll look at that directly on the power station. And here's the other side. It just shows some examples of different types of devices you can connect to it, and the potential wattage in terms of the power draw. And obviously it can handle up to 1200 watts, so all these devices will be no problem for this. Alright, so here's the power station out of the box. Fairly hefty, 36 pounds. It's 13 inches by 11 by 9. And you have some exhaust fans here on the sides. On each side over here. There's nothing in the back. It's completely blank. Usually there's like a light or something like that you can turn on. This one doesn't have that feature. The construction's pretty nice. I mean, it's all plastic. So it looks like it's like painted metal, but it's actually all plastic. It's like ABS. And it seems fairly rugged. I mean, obviously you can probably get some scratches on this if you're not too careful, but it's not going to prevent it from being used. This does come in a blue version if you don't like the yellow color. And they also sell this in a larger package. So if you don't like the 1000, I think there's a Mars-1000, which is going to be a 2000 watt inverter, I believe, and a little bit more in terms of the capacity. I think it's like 1400 watt hours, something like that. I'll link that also in the video description if you're looking for something a little bit more heftier. I think that one's about the same dimensions, but it's just taller for more battery capacity and a bigger inverter. Here's the stuff that comes in the box. So you get the power station, of course. You get a wall charger, or the power brick, 25.5 volts to 8 amps to charge up the power station, and uses a 5521 barrel connector. Obviously you can use the input here on the front for that. Get a little accessory bag to hold the charger and some of these other cables. So you get a MC4 connector here for some solar panels, and that goes to the 5521 barrel connector input. Same here on the, if you want to do some car charging, this is a cigarette lighter adapter for your car, and then that goes into the same input as well, 5521 barrel connector. You get a user's manual and a warranty card. Okay, so pretty standard here on the front. You get 3 plugs here for your AC, 110 volts. And you got your input here for charging up the power station. Obviously, you can do either the included power brick or through solar panels. You get an Anderson connector here as well, and their solar panels that they sent me do come with the cables for this connector here. It's 200 watts max input on either one of these, so be aware of that. You have a USB section here, power delivery up to 60 watts. For this size power station, 100 watts probably would be better. I think for other brands, 100 watts is more typical. So if you need something more than 60 watts, then yeah, that's something you probably want to look elsewhere. Quick charge 3.0, I think this is up to 18 watts, and then you have 2 standard USB-A's, 5 volts at 2.4 amps at up to 12 watts. You got another DC section here, 5521 barrel connectors, 12 volts, 8 amp out, And then same here for the cigarette lighter. For any of these your like sort of devices that uses a cigarette lighter, like a refrigerator, for example, you can plug that into here for DC outputs. To turn it on, you just press the button here, turns on the display. Get your standard information here. You got your capacity, battery bars, and percentage, which is nice. It's always good to have, and your input and output in watts. And turn on a section here. You just press the USB, and you get a little icon here on the screen showing that the USB is active. Press the DC, get the DC out. And if you press the AC, should turn that on. Or I guess you have to long press the button for AC. Get a little short burst of the fan, so that'll turn on when the components of the inverter gets too warm. So obviously nothing plugged in, it's not going to do anything. It's just kind of turns on quickly and then turns back off. I believe the frequency is set to 60 hertz on the AC. If you want to switch it to 50 hertz, you short press the AC button 5 times. So let's go and do that. And you can see it switches to 50 hertz here. And then to go back, just press it again 5 times and it goes to 60 hertz. So if you have a different system, you want to switch to 50 hertz, that's how you do that for this guy. Alright, so now a quick demo of it charging off of the wall adapter. Go and plug that in here. And the power station turns on right away. And we can see that it is charging up to 200 watts off of the power brick, and see the light turns red there, means it's charging. Alright, so another test I want to see is if it will charge while also on AC power. Sometimes some of these power stations won't do that. So I got a hair dryer here. Go ahead and turn this on, and you're not going to be able to hear me talk because it's going to be too loud. The fan on this one's fairly loud as well, now that it's charging up to 200 watts. So if you need a quieter fan, you might want to consider something else, but it's not terrible. It doesn't sound annoying. It's pretty loud. All right, let's go ahead and turn the hair dryer on. So a low power level on the hair dryer, and we're already drawing about 900 watts while also charging at about 200 watts. Okay, so I'm going to unplug the input here. And the fan turned off as soon as I just disconnected the input. So obviously it's using the fan for the inverter, obviously for charging and also for the AC. So now I'm going to do the hair dryer test, and I'm going to max out the output power. So it's 1200 watts bursting to 2000. I know this hair dryer will do up to 1500, so let's see how long it will stay at 1500 before it shuts down. So go ahead and turn this on, and you're not going to be able to hear me talk probably. The fan turned on. We're at about 1000 watts. Can increase the heat level. Heat level 2, so much about 1100. We're into level 3. We're going over 1300. We'll turn up the fan speed. Completely maxed out now. Alright, so yeah, seems to have passed that test fairly well. 1500 watts. For a fair amount of time, I didn't want to let this video go on for too long, but it seems like it is able to burst to 2000. Not 100% sure how long it'll stay at 1500 watts. I'll probably do a separate test and let you know, put something on the screen if I do that. But at this point, let's go ahead and take this outside so we can test the 2 solar panels and see how efficient those are in bright sunlight, etc. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so something that wasn't documented here on this power station was charging it via the USB-C power delivery port. You can see I'm getting 60 watts input there on the power delivery port there. And this is just connected up to this is an Anchor charger that outputs 65 watts via USB-C power delivery, but it looks like it's maximum of 60 watts on the input here. So this isn't documented in the manual, but I suppose in a pinch you could charge up this power station at 60 watts. Obviously that's going to take a while, but it's possible via USB-C. And yeah, obviously you want to do it over the AC charger, which is 200 watts over the solar panels. Obviously that'll be a lot faster, but in a pinch this might work for you. Alright, so here are the 200 watt solar panels. They fold up, come with this little user manual. So just want to show you quickly the specs on the panel itself. So it's saying that it's a 23% efficiency, 18 volt is the nominal voltage out of this. It does have a USB-C output and quick charge 3.0, so, and regular USB-A 5 volts at 3 amps, and power delivery up to 45 watts. Dimensions 20.47 by 14.37 by 1.97 inches, and it weighs about 10.5 pounds. Right, so in the front here you got this little zipper pouch. These are the little stands to put it up at an angle, and inside you got your DC out from the panel that goes to the power station. You got a USB-C over here and 2 USB-A's. You have a DC to DC cable. This is for the input directly to the power station if you're using one of these panels, and then you have a 5521 DC to Anderson connector here. They also sent me a Y cable, Anderson Y cable adapter to connect 2 of these up. So go ahead, I'll unfold these. I think there's 4 panels on each of these in total, so I'll do a test of 1 of each. Alright, so for the first test I'm just connecting up 1 panel by itself to the Anderson connector. It's very sunny. Sun angle is about right. I'm getting about 86 watts input, 87 watts input. And I'm not sure if that's showing up in the video or not, but that's what I'm seeing on the panel. Alright, so as a test I'm shading one of the 4 panels here with a towel. See how much of a change in input we have, and it's down to about 63, 65 watts. So yeah, it does reduce it, but actually it doesn't cut off the power completely, so that's good. Alright, so I got both panels connected now using that parallel Y cable. And let's see what we got now. So now it's showing about 154, 53, 56. It's a little over 156 watts. So not quite 200. And as you can see here, the panels are fully in the sun. The angle could be a little bit improved, but I'm just using whatever the standard angle is given by what was on the back of the panels. So this looks like that's about the max there, around 150 to 155 watts on the 2 panels. Anyway, pretty nice setup overall. Check out the link in the description if you guys want to check it out. And of course they have a larger power station available as well, and if you want to get this in a combo, they also have those available as well. I think you can save a few bucks there, and there might be a coupon code down in the video description if you want to get a discount. That's going to do it for this one. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.